Hello everyone. In this video, I will demonstrate how to download Oracle 11G and connect it using SQL Developer. And we will be installing it on Windows 10 64-bit operating machine. So let's get started. First, I would show you the system detail here. So I would go to Control Panel, System. These are the system information, Windows 10 and 64-bit operating machine. Now let's go ahead and download Oracle Express Edition. So I will say download Oracle Express Edition. Click on the first link here. And this is the latest edition 11. This is Express Edition 18, but we want 11G, not 18C. And the reason we want to go with 11G instead of 18C is that 18C is very complex and it doesn't work as smoothly. On the other hand, 11G is very lightweight and it works flawlessly so on Windows 10. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll go to the prior release here and click on this edition here. Okay. So if you click on this one here, sometimes it will ask you you gotta have Oracle account. Okay. So I have my Oracle account, so I'm gonna log it in. Okay. So you gotta have Oracle account to download this one. So once you sign in, it will start downloading. Okay. I have already downloaded it, so I'm going to cancel this one here. Just I wanted to show you the process. Okay, so we have already downloaded Oracle 11G here. Let's go ahead and download, let's say, SQL Developer. Okay, so this is the front end tool we will be using to connect with the Oracle database. So oracle.com, Oracle SQL Developer downloads, that's the link we want. And we want to download it for Windows 64-bit with JDK 8 included. So you click on this one. So since I have already logged in, it's not asking me to log in again, but you need to make sure that you have your account with Oracle. So again, I have already downloaded this too. I just wanted to show you the process, where to get this software from. And I have them here. Okay, so I have already downloaded them. You will be downloading them in the zip file. I have already unzipped it. Now let's go ahead and install Oracle 11G, which is very lightweight and it works pretty well on Windows 10. Okay. So let's click on next here. I accept the terms in the license agreement. Let's install this one. So it will be installed in your C drive, Oracle EXE. So say next here. Okay, I already have it installed. So I will just go ahead and install it. So here you have to have a password for two super users. So you have sys as a super user and system as a super user. So for that you have to choose a password. Let's say I'm gonna choose a very simple password, Oracle, ORACLE, all lowercase. Okay, click next here, install. This might take few minutes here. So the installation is completed. So we will select finish here. And so we'll, if you go to the start menu here, you see that, get Oracle, started with Oracle uh, icon here. But let's go here. If you scroll it in your Windows folder here, you will see Oracle 11G Express Edition. And by default, database is already started. Once you install it, it's going to be started. And every time you will reboot the machine, this server, Oracle server, will restart with the computer. Okay, so let's just make sure that it is started and working. We will click on run SQL command line here, and let's say we want to connect to the system user. Connect system, and you can do / with the password, let's say ORACLE, Oracle, and you should see connected. Okay, or you can also see here, you can also say system here and then enter password Oracle, and you'll get the same message connected. That means server is up and working. Let's stop the server. Okay, so I will go to the Oracle here, and let's say stop database. Okay, so it will open up a new window. So now the server is stopped. Okay, so if you try to connect here, connect system Oracle, you will get an error because the server is stopped. Okay, so let's start the server now again. So I will go here. Okay, so the server is started successfully. Okay, now if you try to connect to the system user, connect system slash Oracle, it's connected, it's working. The reason I wanted to show you this is, first, we want to make sure that the server is up and running. Secondly, it is always a good idea to just click on the start server and make sure it's started. So I always do this. I'll go here as soon as uh, I reboot my machine. I will just click on start database uh, server here, and you should get a window like this. Okay, that means the server is up and working. Okay, now let's connect it using SQL Developer. Okay, so we have Oracle SQL Developer downloaded here. I unzipped it already. If you double click here and go to SQL Developer, run here. Okay, so it's done here. We have Oracle connection, Oracle NoSQL connection. So it's an IDE, integrated development environment, and it's a front end tool, SQL Developer. And basically, you can use this tool to connect with any other database, not just the Oracle. Okay, uh, so let's connect to our Oracle server with the system user. So I'll click on this plus symbol here to create a new connection. You can give any name you want. Okay, so I will say my system user. Okay, and our user is system, password is lowercase oracle. I will save the password and I will test here, and you should see a success here. Okay, success means the front end tool has successfully connected with the backend database server. And then I will click on the connect here, and the connection should appear here. Okay, so if you click on this plus symbol here, you will see all these database objects here. Okay, and a blank SQL worksheet. So this is what you call SQL worksheet here. It's going to give you worksheet. Now system user is the super user. Okay, and it is created by Oracle for you to help you out with other activities. So you should never use system user to do your task. Okay, you should always create a local user. Okay, so but to create a local user, you need to log in as a system user. So right now we have already logged in as a system user. This is my system user account, and I want to create a local user. So what I would do here is I have this command here. Okay, so this command will help me create a local user. Okay, so I will copy this one. Okay, and I'll paste it here. Okay, let's say double dash means comment. This will be ignored by the compiler. Okay, so I want to create a user called ORADB2. You can give any name. You can call it, let's say XYZ. Okay, XYZ, whatever you want. Okay, but I want it to be Aura DB2. And so create, so first, if there is a Aura DB2 user, drop it, delete the user, and then create a new user with the Aura DB2 identified by Aura DB2. This is the password. Okay, so you can say any password here. Let's say Oracle 123, for example. Okay, so identify Oracle, ORACLE, Oracle 123. Okay, and then you have to grant many privileges to this user so that the user should be able to work with different objects. Okay, like creating table and writing queries. Okay, so this is gonna run one command at a time, run statement. Each statement is categorized by this semicolon. So this is one statement and this is second statement. So if you run this one, you have to run it twice. Okay, so I'm gonna just thrice actually. So it's gonna drop. I guess if the cursor is here, this is the statement that's gonna run. So our DB created. So the first one was ignored, and then you bring the cursor here, you run it again. Grant succeeded. Okay, you can rerun this command if you want. Let's say I want to run it as a script. Script will let you run all the statements together. Okay, so for example, I can clear this one here, run the script. So it's going to first drop the user and then create the user and then grant the privileges. So again, we are using system user. Only system user can create local users. Okay, because other local users may not have privileges to create more local users. So whenever you want to create a local user, you always want to log in as a system user and create local user. And you can create many local users. For example, you can create Aura DB3 and again, do the same thing. It won't stop you from doing that. You can create a number of user. It's a multi-user database. Okay. So first you're getting the error because Aura DB3 does not exist yet, but once you create it, now it's created, grant succeeded. So if you rerun it, it will not give you any error because we already created it. It was dropped this time and then it was recreated. So we created 2 users. Okay, likewise, we can create many users. Okay, so for example, let's connect to the local user. So we'll click on this plus symbol and I will say my local user. Let's say user, and it is Aura DB2. I will say ORS Oracle 123. Save the password. Okay. Say test here. Success. Connect. So you see another connection here. So this is my system user and this is my local user. Okay. You can see this is this SQL worksheet is for the local user and this is for the system user. Okay, now as a local user you can change the password anytime you want. For example, I can use this command here. Let's say, let's do it here, like as a system user. Okay, let's say I want to say Aura DB2, that is what I created, right? And 3 as well, but we just connected using Aura DB2. Okay, so I just want to execute this command. Okay, so I want to execute this command and connect it using, let's say, any other password. Let's say database, uh, say PWD, something like that. Okay, or let's choose a simple one. Uh, let's do my underscore PWD password. Okay, just something to show you the demo, and I will run it as a statement here. Okay, so it's gonna say database to altered. Okay, so you are still logged in as a system user. Let's close this one and I will right click on this one, go to properties, and it's an old password here. So it will give an error because we just changed the password, right? I will have to put in my new password, my underscore PWD. Okay, test it and connect. Okay, so now I have connected to my local user with a new password. So if you want to change the password, you have to go to the system user and do it that way. That is the most recommended way. Okay, so probably you can do it as a user yourself, but I always prefer doing it here. I don't know whether this will work with the user, but let's stick to this one. This is how you should be working with the Oracle SQL Developer. Once you are done creating the local user, I always recommend closing my system user worksheet. Okay, we don't want to save the changes. And all the work that you're gonna do in Oracle database, you will be using my local user. Okay, using this one. You can just test using simple query. Let's say select sysdate from dual. Okay, so I will press F5 to run this one, and that should give you the system date, today's date. So with this, I will end my lecture video here. Thank you very much for listening.